Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for another matchup in the 32 Rye Tournament. We are in the Sweet 16 now, baby, and we are moving onward and upward in the Rye Tournament, and we are now having an interesting matchup. Single Barrel Rye versus Finished Rye. Michters, Single Barrel Rye versus Minor Case Sherry Cask Finished Rye. Yes, folks. Michters versus Minor Case. Which one will move on to the Elite 8 of the 32 Rye Tournament, folks? I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E. You can find me at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, K.O.E. Nation on Twitch, K.O.E. Nation on TikTok, and I am joined this evening by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
Tony fucking G. Like, share, and subscribe. Not just to the K.O.E. Nation, but to me, Tony the Rod 2.0 on TikTok, and of course, Linktree link right there, scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Big Bucket Empire, Dog and Chicken Show, and the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. It's the right thing to do.
All the right places to be. But folks, tonight is the Rye Tournament's night, and we're going to decide who wins between Single Barrel and Finished.
We're getting through this thing, and I'll be honest, I did not anticipate this specific matchup, but I don't hate it because I love both of these ryes so very, very much.
You know, I tend to agree. I like one of them a little more than the other.
A lot more, let's be honest.
Yes, to be fair. I do like Michter's a little bit more, but we're going to give Minor Case its fair day here. So I've already made the pours for myself, but you know, I gotta say, we've made it here to the Sweet 16, and we're about to send off one of these two to the Elite 8. This has been quite the tournament, T. There's been twists and turns, eliminations I never thought I'd see coming, and yet here we are.
There have been some definite, there's been some entrance into this thing that I did not think that were going to make it, and some definite favorites that fell by the wayside. But guess what? Them's the bricks in a 32-team tournament, folks.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some incredible whiskeys that were eliminated in the first round. That
Brickway,
Brickway Rye still breaks my heart, but it is what it is, folks. We now move on to this particular matchup between, some pretty big heavy hitters in the Rye whiskey game. But T, how about you take up Minor Case first? Throw everybody for a loop.
My glass is much less elegant than yours, but
hey, needs must.
I love this stuff. Ever since we cracked into this and did the first review, I had a feeling I was really going to enjoy this stuff. Truth be told, you were in a store, you were going to buy something regardless, and you sent a picture of this, and I said, I want that. And you're like, all right, fuck it, I'll pick it up. And then you're like, well, do I want to keep it, or I want that. Phil, I want that. Phil, I want that bottle. And you're like, well, I guess. Yeah. And luckily for me, you conceded, and after we tried it, you were glad that you did let me have that bottle.
Yeah, because it was definitely more your taste than it was mine.
It is. I do love a sherry
finish, but yeah.
I love some sherry. But with rye, this one does it right, in my opinion.
Now, take up the Michters and consider its nose.
Now, to be completely fair...
Okay, now you're in real glassware.
This is candy in a glass, folks. But, to be fair, I'm still holding on to the very first bottles of Michter's Rye that I ever bought. Because this single barrel was so phenomenal. I have been babying this bottle for so long. It's probably time to let it go, drain this bottle, and move on to the next. But I
can't bring yourself.
I found it actually quite. It has been very, very difficult. My specific barrel number is 20D763, and this was the first one we reviewed. This was our first iteration of Michter's, and this was a special bottle.
Mine is barrel number 20J2437. And I've noticed mine has some of the same apple flavors yours has, but it also kind of has a waxy element to it, which,
yes,
again, I always keep going back to things that my grandmother made because, well, those are, in those formative ages is when a lot of flavor memories come. But my grandmother made caramel apples or caramel apples for our friends across the pond, and she'd put them on wax paper. And sometimes if you pull off just a little bit of that, not the wax paper, but a little bit of that wax that comes with it, and it comes off onto the caramel, and then when you eat it and you bite into it, you taste just that tiny little bit of wax that comes with the apple. Like pull out the caramel and just the wax in the apple there. That's kind of what I'm getting with this particular Michter's single barrel. So, well, T,
yours definitely had a lot of the same qualities as mine, but it wasn't so foreign that we could not say that they're at least adjacent to each other. But that's the beauty of a single barrel versus a cask finish, which makes this matchup that much more unique.
Well, T, let's take up the your mason jar of Minor Case, and cheers, sir.
This is so sweet. This is like a bubble gum,
mint and sherry sugar.
A little bit of mint.
That's what I'm getting.
Mint. I get the sherry for sure, but it's so sweet. This is, if you're not familiar with rye, you would never guess that this one was a rye.
I could see that. So, yeah, I could understand where you come with that. There's more of a sherry finish here, but it's a Dalmore. This is not.
No, and it's not meant to be. Like, this is one of those ryes that definitely takes the gimmick, but I feel like I really want to try the Minor Case rye without the sherry cask finishing, because I don't think this is all gimmick. Like, with a lot of ryes, especially with, like, the Jefferson's cognac finish, that's all gimmick. That's covering up a pretty substandard rye. I think this rye, plus the cask finishing, makes it that much better. I don't think this is covering up a bad rye.
I'm trying to think of what I would do with this particular rye, but to me,
I would drink the shit out of it.
Well, yeah, but I'm just trying to think of what other cocktails, and this is an interesting idea, is spike some wine with a little bit of this particular, I know. You got to choose your white wine. It's got to be a buttery white. And I think it would work.
Moscato. I could see that.
A Moscato might even be a little sweet because of the sherry. I think maybe I will leave maybe even some really buttery Chardonnay. I think that would really work.
Okay.
Now you got to get your proportions just right, but I think it would work fine. Now, all right. After a quick palate cleanse, we now consider the amazingness of Michter's. Nose is gorgeous and delicious.
And I want you to understand, I've been sitting on this bottle for a really long time. There's not much left. I've held on to I've went to finish this bottle a couple of times. I've not been able to bring myself to do it specifically because I want to have a little bit of this bottle throughout the remainder of this tournament, so as long as Michter stays alive. Maybe that's not fair, because this is just heavenly.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Well, T, cheers.
This is so damn good.
Nothing offensive. The wax on the middle of my tongue, probably you're not getting quite as prominent. I bet there's a little bit of it there, but probably not.
There's a lot more apple orchard fruit on this one, but
that barrel had some very interesting time, because what a lot of folks don't know is the reason why you get different fruit flavors out of different whiskeys is because when you actually, in the distillation process, you create esters, and esters are the same chemical that gives fruit its smell. So that's why I'm getting this fruit. The distiller didn't put actual fruit in there, but you could almost be forgiven for making that mistake. So, goodness gracious.
Oh.
Now, Tony, before we render final judgment,
Understand.
Cleanse my palate.
Go ahead.
I go back to minor.
Yep.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
It's a lot
Cannot
sharper.
complain.
Much sharper on the palate.
Yeah.
Very good. And again, this is a 45 ABV. And the Michter's is a 42.4. So pretty close in terms of proof. But these are not even remotely comparable. Again, this is a rye single barrel. You're going to get a different barrel every time if the bottle number is different. In minor case, the cask finish makes it so different. So this comparison is so unique. I really, really like putting them up against each other, but it's so unfair.
This is kind of what happens when you don't readjust the brackets from round to round. But no, this is a true tournament.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think this was gonna be as close as it was.
Understandable.
Like to me, I thought Michter's was gonna blow minor case out of the water, and instead, Michter's is eking out minor case, in my opinion. Because minor case, now that I've come back to it and I've had a minute to let it, consider it, I could definitely make that one hell of a cocktailing whiskey. I mean,
I think it's a lot more versatile than we initially gave it, because I think when we first tried it, this is very niche, this is very straightforward. You can do very little with this, but yeah, again, the more I've come back to it, yeah, you could definitely do some stuff with this. Now, granted, I'm going to drink it neat. That's how this bottle will be enjoyed until it's empty. And when the next bottle is purchased, and yes, there will be another bottle purchased, I will enjoy that one neat as well. But you could definitely do more with it.
No,
and
it's
again,
kind of funny.
Michter's single barrel.
Yeah, but now I gotta say it's kind of funny. Just literally last night, I was running around Twitch and just checking out some old buddies of ours, and Hans was actually on Twitch, and he's talking, and I commented because he was drinking, and I said, you should try a whiskey fix sometime, because he's making cocktails, and he's talking about how he loved this one cocktail that had ginger beer. I said, try a whiskey fix. 2 parts
There you go.
whiskey, 1 part simple syrup, 1 part lemon juice. And he went, Phil, I have lemonade here in my house, and I have everything else. Do you think that'd be close enough? That should at least tell you if you like it or not. And
Yeah,
he mixed
wheelhouse.
it, and he said, this is probably my new favorite drink. Oh my God, this is,
There you
and
go.
I think the minor case would be perfect for a
I think
whiskey
you're right.
fix. I think because the
If
sherry
you cocktail it just right, yeah, that
isn't
would
going
be
to
good.
I don't think the sherry's going to contradict anything, because you're just dealing with lemon juice and simple syrup. So I think
Before we make any decisions, which one of these would be better on ice?
on ice, on the rocks, Michter's.
Agreed. I think you would have to cocktail, and I mean ingredients cocktail, the minor
Yep.
case.
Yep. And that's why
Agreed.
I am giving my vote to Michter's.
Yeah,
Tony?
I agree. It's the Michter's, because it
Yeah.
has to be. Like this, when you think rye, when I think rye, this is the bottle. This is literally the bottle that comes to my mind, because this one turned my mind around on rye, because I tried a lot of really mediocre to bad rye. But when I tried this one set itself so far ahead of the rest. I'm like, oh, that's what good rye can be. That's what
Yeah.
really good rye can be. And then I've discovered other really good rye. I'm like, okay, there's a world of rye out there that's not hot garbage.
Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Now, what's fascinating is when you say that, this bottle was kind of the impetus of having the 32 Rye tournament. Because
That's
if it
true.
wasn't for
You're
this
right.
bottle
This
coming
bottle.
along, we would have just allowed the 10 Rye flight to stand. And that would have just been what was the Rye of Extreme for some time. But then Michter's Rye showed up and kind of changed our perspective on what was possible with rye. So, yeah, folks, Michter's single barrel rye now moves on from the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8 in the 32 Rye Tournament, folks. This tournament, it's getting thinner, folks. We've now got some heavy hitters in this Elite 8 class, and don't you dare go anywhere other than K.O.E. Nation here on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok to find out what will ultimately be the Rye of Extreme. Now, Tony, anything you'd like to say to the folks?
No, I just will sign off with this. If you're a Rye fan, you want something a little different, Minor Case is absolutely fantastic. But this is the Elvis of Rye, in my opinion. And once we get to the Final Four, I'm excited to see how my heavy hitter, Michter's single barrel, straight Kentucky Rye, fares against the other heavy hitters. Cannot wait.
I think it's got to go up against Rabbit Hole in the next round, though. So this is gonna be.
Boy, it does have a tough go.
Well, from the Elite 8 on, but there are no easy matches. Okay,
you got a point
so
there, Phil. It's getting deep. Shit is getting deep.
So this is gonna be quite the tournament, folks, and I can't wait to see how it fucking ends, folks. It's gonna be quite the ride. But as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the K.O.E. Nation for the 32 Rye Tournament. I am the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, the devilishly handsome man of TikTok, if I do say so myself. Folks, you can find me at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, K.O.E. Nation on Twitch, K.O.E. Nation on TikTok. Folks, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I hope to find all of you back here happy, healthy, much the wiser. Tony, take it away.
Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe. Socials are right there. Linktree/Big Buck. And you know what to do, folks. Do not miss the end of the 32 Rye Tournament of Extreme.
Perfect.
Smooths itself out.
Get back, tell you what I'll do if I ever get back. I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost, we gotta take it down. Let you down slow, it's hard to survive. El Dorado. Oh, Lord. Well, let's see how that one went.
Yeah.